So I'm going to give you some context first. Reese Witherspoon, back in 2016, founded her own production company called Hello Sunshine. And then in 2021, just 5 years after the fact, sold it off for almost $1 billion to a couple of former Disney executives who were backed by the private equity firm Blackstone. But the backstory as to why she started her own production company is something that she has been incredibly outspoken about. And it's because she believes Hollywood was doing wrong by women. And Hollywood studios, the big seven that she cited, were completely ignoring stories led by women for female audiences. And this started off, her origin story is that she read a script for a possible audition that offended her sensibilities as a proud feminist in Hollywood, and she had to take action. So she took all of these executives to task, and she realized they weren't up to it. So she had to fill their place.
They should have played the Meghan Trainor song.
Yeah, still don't care.
Still don't care. Sorry.
So in this interview just a few days ago, Reese Witherspoon retold the story of Hello Sunshine with and it was on Aspire with Emma Greed. I've seen this interviewer before. She seemingly is another one of these podcasters who doesn't have a big following, but somehow gets all of the A-list interviews.
This is true of like every industry now. It's got more to do with industry approval than it does the size of your audience. It's like, this used to happen in comics a lot.
Right. So let's take a look at this clip from Reese Witherspoon's interview.
Here we go.
You want to showcase women in the world. I was disgusted. I was angry. When I was about 34, had this moment.
How old is she now? She in her 40s?
That changed everything, which was reading this script. I read the script
now.
And
49.
She's talking about something like 15 years ago.
Okay, so yeah. Okay.
It had a guy as a lead and it had 2 female leads, and the women just supported the guy, and it was all these crass jokes, and I thought it was awful. So I called my agent. I said, well, I'm not doing this. This is going to set women back. And she said, every actress in town wants these 2 parts.
This has been like 2010.
It was this huge moment for me where I was like, this is what you have to offer. First of all, not just the actresses, but the women in the world. This is how you want to showcase women in the world. I was disgusted. I was angry. So I went on a listening tour, and I, called all my studio head friends and say, hey, can I sit down with you? I just want to hear what you're developing for women at your studio. And going to see every head of every studio, all 7 of them.
So let's stop for a second there. So that would be what we said: Sony, Warner Brothers, Disney, Paramount, Universal,
yes,
and then maybe
A24 and maybe Lionsgate.
Okay,
yeah.
Only one was developing female lead in a movie, and they said, we have 1 movie that's starring a woman this year. We can't have 2. And I was like, wow, this is not acceptable. It was mind-bending. This is how you want to...
Okay, so back in 2010, I guess there was not as much of a push for female representation in Hollywood.
Theoretically, those movies would have come out in 2011 or 2012.
Yes.
Yes.
I have no idea
Hunger
what movie
Games
it was.
coming out in 2012.
Yeah, the first female action star, Jennifer Lawrence, was breaking glass ceilings. And it was a time of great change.
And Twilight was going on at this time as well.
The last
Twilight
installment, of the franchise. And they caption this: Reese Witherspoon may be known as America's sweetheart, but behind the scenes, she has built a billion-dollar empire that changed Hollywood for women. And, I think that Reese Witherspoon has shown, she's not a hypocrite at the very least. Compared to most women in Hollywood who do expect the studio heads to foot the bill for their personal political agendas, she took the reins and did it herself, and then made a ton of money off of it.
Much like Nicole Kidman is doing now.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's now in the hands of a couple of people who used to work at Disney, Kevin Mayer and Tom Staggs, who were financially backed by Blackstone for the purchase.
Well, how much
she's still involved in the day-to-day operations, but she doesn't own the majority of the company.
Well, that means the money mattered more, because if all that mattered was the perspective of a woman, you wouldn't have given controlling interest over to other people. Capitalism wins in the end. It always does.
Witherspoon has stated that her mission is to change how women are represented in media, and she is committed to empowering creators of all backgrounds. So this was the origin story of Hello Sunshine. And, you know, since we're on the topic, I was just talking about this with you off air. We were debating over whether females are still underrepresented as leads in theatrical released movies. Mm-hmm. So we thought through what was released in 2025. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Jurassic World Rebirth starring Scarlett Johansson was
I'm gonna
a
pause
standout.
Just for a moment, because people are saying Ripley would like a word. They're mentioning Sarah Connor. Here's the thing, though. That's not an argument that will hold up to their scrutiny, because all that tells you is that it's happened before and it happened decades ago. What they're looking for is like a number of examples each year. Mm-hmm. That would be an example of it. The problem is lots of movies fail every year, both men and women. So you're not going to, like, you could add in Jennifer Lawrence in Hunger Games. You could add in Kristen Stewart in the Twilight franchise, something like that. But men are always going to be the majority of the leads in Hollywood. In my opinion, this is because universally told stories about heroism and the hero's journey, which are made for men, and they do not work as well when they're told by women because it goes against women's nature, will always lean towards men. And when we're talking about the box office, that works better. Now, if we're talking about the small screen, I would argue that women have done far, far better than people give them credit for on the small screen for decades longer, at least in a more consistent fashion. You'll find more shows led by women than there are movies starring women. And I think that that's pretty continuous throughout the last 2 or 3 decades. They don't outnumber the men, but they've done a lot better on television. I think that's because it's better form. Telling a classic hero's journey story can be done in an hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours, 2.5 hours. But if you want to tell a story that appeals to women, even if you're telling it within the genre that men like say a police procedural, it's better told over a longer period of time.
Okay.
In my personal opinion.
I mean, my read on it was that women have painted themselves into this corner where there could be plenty of female-led movies that are universally relatable and have near universal appeal, but they insist on writing movies for female leads that can only be relatable to women.
Which is a hard sell.
It doesn't have to be that way.
Unless it's you need to find a middle ground, like in Anyone But You, and even that's still predominantly for women. They're
going to like movies that center relationships.
And let's face it, guys, don't let them fool you because they've been owning the Hallmark industry for decades. We've given them that. That's okay.
However, there were plenty of male-led flops this year.
Yeah.
Namely, the recent Glenn Powell movie, Running Man, flopped terribly. And who would have predicted that? I looked up the female-led theatrical releases of 2025. They include Materialists, starring Dakota Johnson. That also flopped.
Did we put Freakier Friday on this list?
Freakier Friday is another one. There is a bunch here
Snow White was this year.
Yeah, Snow White, of course. Jurassic World Rebirth was the biggest one, I believe.
Yep. Ballerina.
Did Ballerina flop?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, flop, no, but it didn't make it made like exactly its budget or something. Or no, I'm sorry, it lost a bunch of money. Ballerina did not do good.
There's Baby Girl starring Nicole Kidman, Die My Love, which was not quite a female lead because it's Jennifer Lawrence and Robert Pattinson.
Does Megan count?
Does a robot girl count? Yeah, I don't know. Kind of. Sort of.
Did anybody see The Woman in the Yard?
Did anyone see Hamnet by Chloe Zhao? Did anyone see The Last Showgirl, directed by Gia Coppola? Or House of Dynamite, directed by Catherine Bigelow? Or The Bride, directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal? No, they didn't. And this is what I'm saying. They're sabotaging themselves. Similarly, Christie, starring Sydney Sweeney. Total flop.
Yep.
Unequivocal, historical level flop. Because they had to write a story starring a woman that could only be appealing to a female audience.
Yep.
And even a wide swath of the female audience wasn't interested in it because nobody knows who Christy is.
Here, if you guys are wondering, here is your list of the top 10 at the box office this year. Minecraft, Lilo and Stitch, Superman, Jurassic World Rebirth, Sinners, The Fantastic Four, How to Train Your Dragon, Captain America Brave New World, Mission Impossible Final Reckoning, and Thunderbolt sits at number 10 with F1 coming in at 11.
Well, Lilo and Stitch counts as female-led.
There you go.
It's live action, by the way.
Yep.
I wouldn't count animated movies in this list.
Yes.
But I want to point out this iconic moment from Reese Witherspoon on The View. This has become a meme now. This clip of her interview on The View has become a reaction GIF, basically.
This one here?
Yeah.
Here we go. Let's see what she has to... Oh, hold on.
Why did it go to the...
I accidentally hit the...
Okay.
I pulled it out. Here we go.
Women's stories matter.
Yeah.
Right. They just matter.
Women's stories matter. Well, by the numbers, no, they don't.
Women's stories matter. They just don't matter to the studios because the studios want to make money. No story matters unless it's going to turn a profit for them, which is why I despise the lie that studios tell when they pretend. In fact, they deserve everything they're getting because they always have to lie and be like, you know what? We really want to uplift voices and tell stories that matter. I would much rather have a studio head come out and be like, look, we don't give a crap what it is as long as it makes us a crap ton of money. Like, we don't care if you are literally pigs at the trough. If it makes us money, we will put it out. I would respect the honesty.
I'm looking at the movies that have been produced by Hello Sunshine, and I haven't heard of a single one.
Not a single one?
Nope.
Yeah. We got 20 here from Pop Culture Junkie.
Didn't see that one. Hello Sunshine produced 8 films. The only hit was Gone Girl. Oh, okay. I didn't think it would be Gone Girl because Gone Girl came out before 2016, which I thought was when she founded it. I don't know. That Witherspoon, okay, she purchased the rights when it was in galley form for her to star in. Director David Fincher talked her out of it to cast Rosamund Pike. Okay. So she purchased the rights after the fact. Different scenario there. Yeah, the rest of them I had never heard of in my life. And I also want to show this clip in its full context from her interview in 2022, back when this was in
What's
vogue.
so unique about
Okay, here we go.
Hello Sunshine is you focused on telling women's stories. Why was that so important to you?
Because of the lack of women's stories in Hollywood.
Again, I want to draw your attention to the Hollywood, to the Hallmark industrial complex and to the Great American Family industrial complex.
Well, those don't go to theaters.
What they're
to be fair.
complaining about is the prestige and the money that's put into things. Started weird.
We didn't get an explosion. Where was the explosion at the beginning?
Oh, it's going to be a bad day. It's going to be all off.
What the hell?
I can already tell. If this screws up, I'm going to be pissed. It's going to come through.
Okay.
Hold on. It's going to restart. I just
Is
know.
it?
Yes, it's going to just
Wait.
restart.
What happened? Okay, I'll dance for this one.
Okay.
That's only fair.
It's going to go halfway. Told you. It's all messed up, guys.
That totally killed my vibe.
Yeah, that's okay.
Anyways, you were saying...
And the point is there's no prestige. And what they want is the prestige. They want the money that... I'm not even saying the money for them. They want the money to be spent on their stories when the stuff that they like is better made in a factory line.
That is true.
And that's okay.
And Reese Witherspoon has also been outspoken to the dismay of people in her creative field about wanting women to be involved in AI because, according to her, it's the future of filmmaking. You can lament it all you want, but the change is here.
She's right.
She's a ruthless businesswoman at the end of the day.
She is right.
She's someone that you would not expect. You know, she's not... I wouldn't say she's A-list, right?
I would consider her
Would
up
you?
there with... I consider
I would
her
say
to be in
B.
the same category as a Gwyneth Paltrow.
Okay.
In fact, I would often mistake
Maybe.
like I could very easily, depending on how much sleep I got the night before,
They have very different
crisscross
vibes,
applesauce them
though.
in my brain.
They have very different vibes.
Reese Witherspoon will always have a soft spot in my heart because of the movie Cruel Intentions.
It's just that you wouldn't expect Reese Witherspoon to be as rich as she is. That took me by surprise.
I absolutely would.
I didn't know.
Yeah, like I would.
That was news to me.
Like if you ask me, the problem is they want what we need then. I want a year where the men get the Hallmark movies and they can make whatever debaucherous movie they want for the Hallmark channel, and the women can have the big blockbusters, and whichever one turns more of a profit gets both.
Meritocracy.
If I guess we'll have to come up with a consolidate, like a way of like estimating the worth of each one. So whichever if the Hallmark movies are more successful on TV, then they get the theaters and the Hallmark movies. But if the movies at the theater are more successful, we'll just have to figure out a scale to actually rate success, since it's not box office for the Hallmark movies.
Since you bring up TV shows, Pop Culture Junkie said among 3 television shows, Hello Sunshine only has one hit, and that is The Morning Show for Apple TV and Big Little Lies.
The morning show's popular, right?
She's on her 4th season of that show at the moment, but
Yeah.
I don't pay attention to things that are on Apple TV.
I know, right? Tell me about it.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.